on this wonderful Friday. Um, this is Pastor Felicia here with another episode of Positive Tea with me. I'm hoping everybody is having a marvelous week, um, marvelous day. And I want to thank you guys for being here and continuing to support me and just being open to what I have to say, my perspective, my purpose, and it's such a blessing to be able to be here. So let's go right into the wonderful topic. Friday. This is going to be a very short episode, but a very this is Pastor Felicia here episode as another episode of Positive Tea with me. Who is your circle? I'm hoping everybody is having a marvelous week. I chose this as a topic and I want to thank you guys for being here within my and journey, continuing to support lots me of successful and women and men. Just being open men, to what I have continue to say, live in their purpose and go after their goals. And they're not very in tune. It's such a blessing to be able to be here. So the people that let's go right into be around on a daily basis. This is going to be a very short episode, but a very I want to say this episode as well. We all who as we embark on our purpose and as we continue to go forth in the things that we are meant to do, and I chose this as a topic because we have to be very within my journey. I have the environment lots that we're successful women and men, very powerful women always and men, to continue to the best live in their purpose and go after their goals. Here, but they're not very in tune at the same time. We don't want the people that they choose to be around on a daily basis, those who they choose to. And what embrace. I mean is, I want to say to make sure we have environment. We all, as we embark on our purpose and as we continue that to are made up of three factors. We are meant to do first the things that probably I'm going to say the most important. We have to be very in tune in who to the environment makes up that we're in. It's going to be compatibility. We hear compatibility a lot when it comes to the romantic relationships. Okay. Here and those are very important. At the same time, we also need compatibility. We don't want to be so objective any that we miss the positive friendship, signs, partnership. And what I mean is any of that. We want to make sure we have hone in on compatibility because within our circle, the individuals in our that are made up of three factors. It's important that the first we align probably I'm going to say the most important factor. Okay. We want to be on the same page. Makes up understanding that it's going to be certain things that may be for me. We hear compatibility a lot when it comes to, but where the compatibility comes in is having the mutual respect and those are very one another. But we also need that although your purpose when it comes to totally different friendship, from my purpose, partnership, okay, any of that. And we want to hone in on compatibility because can support you in the way individuals in our circle, okay, and it's important that to understand we align that because you have a completely different purpose. We want to be on the same page. That there may be times that where you have certain things that may be for me that are not necessarily include for you. Okay, but and where the compatibility comes and in so is having where the compatibility comes in at for one another. And understanding that although your purpose may be a totally different companionship from my someone who has a responsibility that involves them to that busy to the point where they're not able to really in the way I can support do social and that I'm committed sit down to understanding to answer that because you have a completely different purpose. The compatibility is going to come in because that you understand there may be times that although where may not you have certain obligations randomly be available that don't include me. They still have vice versa. as a friend.
And so they
where the
still have
compatibility
value
comes
as someone
in
in your
is
circle. And
if you
by
are
still being there for
in
them,
a friendship,
still supporting them,
companionship,
still
with
letting them
someone
know
who
that
you're
has
sending
a
positive
responsibility
energy
that
and
involves them
letting
to
them
be
know how much
busy
you
to the
truly
point
care
where they're
about
not
them
able
is
to
going to make the
really
biggest
hang
difference
out
because
or do
that
social
compatibility,
social events
the
or
foundation
sit
is
downs, or they
respect
may
and
not
the
be able to
foundation is
answer the
understanding.
phone
And
for
so
you at
it's
certain
so
times.
important
The
that the people in
compatibility
our
is going to come
circle
in
are
because you
compatible
understand
with our
that
purpose.
although they may
And
not
we
be
have to be
able
compatible
to
with their purpose.
randomly
And
be
that does not
available,
mean that we're going to be doing the same thing.
they still have
at the
value
same time
as a friend.
they
They
may
still
not
have
know
value
the
as
same
someone
people,
in your
or then
circle.
again, we may know the same
And
people.
by
We
still
may not work
being
on
there for
projects
them,
together, but the
still
compatibility
supporting
is
them,
there because
still
we
letting them know
that you're
you have to
sending
do what
positive
you have to
energy
do, and I have to do
and
what I
letting
have to
them
do.
know
And
how much
however I can
you
support
truly
you,
care about
I'm willing
them
to do
is going to
that
make the biggest
consistently,
difference
and you do as
because
well.
that
So we
compatibility,
want to make sure that the people who
the
make up our
foundation is
circle
respect,
are
and the
supportive
foundation is
and
understanding.
understanding.
And so it's
Because
so
it makes so
important
much of a difference.
that the
And
people in our
compatibility
circle
is going
are
to be
compatible with our
as
purpose.
realistic
And we
as
have to be
possible
compatible
when we
with their
align
purpose.
with
And
those
that does
people.
not mean
The
that we're going to
second
be doing the
thing
same things
that
at the same time.
is very important
We may
with
not know
who makes
the
up
same
our
people,
circle,
or then again, we may know the same people.
is going to be
We may not work on
understanding
projects together,
love language.
but the compatibility is there because
What do I mean?
we know
In understanding love
you have to do
language,
what
and
you have to
again,
do, and I
this
have
is
to
a
do
very
what I
big
have to
thing
do.
in a
And however
relationship,
I can support
like a
you,
romantic
I'm willing to
relationship,
do
but
that
we're not talking about
consistently,
romantic
and you be
relationships.
as
We're talking
well.
about
And
any
so we want to make sure
relationship,
that the
okay?
people who make up
When
our
it comes to the
circle
people who
are
make up our
supportive.
circle.
And that
understanding,
means that
because it makes so much
you
of a difference.
may
And compatibility
have a love
is going to
language
be
that simply means
as realistic
you
as
like a
possible
post-it
when
when
we align with those
Okay.
people on social media.
The second
Okay?
thing
Another
that
person may have a love language
is very
that
important
involves
with
sitting
who
down
makes
for
up
coffee
our circle
once or twice a month. Okay? Is
Another
going
person
to
may have a
be
love language
understanding
of
love language.
sending you a sweet
What do
text
I mean?
message
Here and there.
in understanding love
Everybody,
language. And again,
needs love.
this is a very big thing in a relationship.
Everybody
like a romantic
should
relationship,
express
but we're not
love.
talking about romantic
Okay?
relationships. We're talking about
But
any relationship.
we have to
okay?
start
When it comes to the
understanding
people who
different
make
love
up our circle.
languages.
And that
And
means
it
that
was years before I
you
was
may
able to
have a love
be
language
at a
that
point
simply means
in
you
my
like
journey
a post-it
where I
on
understood
social media.
and
Okay.
respected the
Another
fact
person
that
may have a love language that involves sitting down for
everybody's love
coffee
language
once or twice
is
a month.
totally different.
Okay.
Okay.
Another
Everybody
person may have a
has
love
a
language of
different way of
sending you
expressing
a sweet
how they
text
feel
message.
here and there. You know,
Everybody
everybody
in communication
needs love.
and in compatibility and
Everybody
any
should
form of
express
friendship
love.
or
Okay.
connection that
But
you have with
we
those
have to
individuals
start
in your
understanding
inner circle.
different
It's
love
important that you
languages.
understand their love
And
language,
it was
and it's
years
important
before
that
they
I was
understand
able
yours.
to
And be at
I
a
think
point
this one is
in
probably
my
the
journey
one that
where
is the
I
most complex
understood and
when
respected
when
the
it comes
fact
to
that
dealing with and recognizing who makes
everybody's
up your
love
inner
language
circle
is
because
totally different.
okay, if you
Everybody
don't
has
understand
a
another person's
different
love language or
way
they don't
of
understand
expressing
yours,
how they
then
feel.
they can feel slighted.
And that's
In
important
communication and
because
in
you
compatibility
can't support
and
someone
any
or
form of
express
friendship
love for
or
someone if they don't
connection
understand the
that you
language
have
in
with
which you
those
are expressing
individuals
it.
in your inner circle.
Henceforth,
It's important that you understand their
it's
love
similar
language, and it's
to
important
if you're
that they
speaking
understand
a
yours.
different language.
And
But I
I
don't
think
speak that
this
language.
this one is
Then
probably
I'm not
the
going to be able
one
to
that is the
understand
most
what you're
complex.
saying.
When
At
when
the
it
same
comes to
time,
dealing
when
with
there are
and
certain
recognizing
emotions
who makes up
behind
your
it,
inner
even
circle,
though we may
because
not speak the same language,
if you don't
there's an
understand
understanding.
another person's love
And
language
so
or they don't
you have
understand
to
yours,
work a
then they
lot of
can feel
times to
slighted.
understand that love
And
language
that's
that's being
important
expressed
because
and that
you
love
can't
language
support
that's
someone
being sent
or
so that you can
express love for
receive
someone if
what
they
is
don't
being given to
understand the
you.
language in which you are
And
expressing.
that may take us to a
Henceforth,
place that
we don't always want
it's
to be
similar
or
to
understand
if you're
immediately,
speaking a different
but over a
language,
period of time,
but I don't speak that language.
we going back to
Then
that
I'm not going to be
compatibility
able to understand
what you're
with
saying
the individuals in our inner circle.
at the
And
same time,
understanding that
when there are
if you
certain
have a different
emotions behind
background,
it, or
even
you
though
have
we
different
may not speak
experiences,
the same language,
that your love
there's an
language may
understanding.
not be a
And
typical
so
expression
you have to work
of how you
a
feel
lot of
about
times
a
to
person or
understand
situation.
that love
And it
language
may
that's
not
being
look like
expressed, and
what
that love
you
language
feel that it
that's
needs to
being
look
sent
like.
so that you can
And it
receive
may not be an
what is
immediate
being given
thing
to.
where you totally
And that
embrace
may
or
take us to
understand
a place that
we don't always
that this
want to
person is
be or
expressing love
understand
in the way that
immediately,
they feel
but over a period of
works
time,
best for this particular situation,
we
or
going
works
back to
best
that
for them.
compatibility. But what we're going to have
With the
to do
individuals in our inner
is
circle,
get
and
the
understanding
that
of their love
if
language,
you have a different background or you have
because
different
that's the way that we receive
experiences,
the love that they're giving.
that your love language may not
And
be a
the
typical
people in your
expression
inner circle,
of how you feel about a
if you
person or a
value them,
situation. You
and
will
it
go
may not look
the
like
extra mile to try
what
to
you
understand
feel
no
that it
matter
needs to
how long
look
it
like.
takes, and
And it
receive
may
that
not be an
exchange of the
immediate
love that
thing
they are
where
giving
you
to you.
totally
Because
embrace
sometimes
or
it may
understand
just be all they can do to express
that
that
this
love
person
and
is
support
expressing
in their own
love
way.
in the way that
And
they
the flip
feel
side of that is
works best for this particular
when we
situation,
have a
or
love
works
language
best
that we
for
express
them.
to others.
But what we're going
that
to
may
have
not be
to do
typical
is
or may
get
not be
the
what
understanding
others feel like
of
it
their
should
love
look
language,
like. We still want to make
because
sure
that's the way
they
that we
get it.
receive the
We
love
want to
that they're
make sure
giving
they
to you.
receive it because
And
we talk about
the
having
people in your
big
inner
circles,
circle,
small circles, secure
if you
circles.
value
We're
them,
in that
you
circle.
will go
We
the
have a
extra
circle
mile to try
yes,
to
absolutely.
understand.
We
No
all, as
matter
individuals,
how long
need
it
a
takes,
circle
and
okay?
receive that
We
exchange
need a
of the
circle
love
that's
that they are
compatible.
giving
We need
to
a
you.
circle that has love
Because
language. But
sometimes
guess
it
what?
may
We have
just
to
be
make
all
sure
they can do
that
to
those
express
that
that
make
love
up
and
our
support in their
circle
own
are
way.
receiving
And the
love
flip
and
side of
support
that
from
is,
us as well.
and if
When
your
we
love
have a love language that we
is not
express to
hitting
others, your
that
love
may not
language
be
is not
typical,
being
or
understood.
may not
Your love
be
language is
what
not being
others
expressed.
feel like it should
You have
look
to
like.
do what you can to
We still want to
consistently
make sure
make
they
others
get it.
understand.
We want to make
This
sure
is how
they
I'm
receive
expressing
it,
love to
because
you. We talk about
I may not
having
do it in
big
this way.
circles, small circles,
I know you
secure
prefer it
circles.
in that way,
We're
but
in
this is how
that
I
circle.
express love.
We have a circle.
And during
Yes,
times when
absolutely.
we're
We all,
alert
as individuals, need a circle.
and we're,
okay?
we're our
We need a
usual
circle that's
selves,
compatible.
and
We need a
we're
circle
going
that
through
has
the
love
motions
language.
of
But
our
guess what? We
purpose,
have to make
our
sure
daily activities,
that those
and the many
that
hats
make up
that we
our
wear,
circle
and we
are
get it.
receiving
That's one
love
thing.
and support
But
from
what
us
about the
as
times
well.
when we're not
And
exactly
if your love
ourselves,
language, like we talked
is
about
not
last week,
hitting,
it's okay to not
your
be
love
okay.
language is not being
Physically,
understood,
mentally,
your love
emotionally,
language is
or
not being
whatever.
expressed,
You have to do what
during
you
those
can to
times, we may not
consistently
even think
make
about it,
others understand.
but our love
This is how
language is
I'm
going to be
expressing
different.
love to you.
And so
Once
I
we
may
do
not
what
do
we
it in this
can
way.
to
I know
kind of
you
put our
prefer it in
antennas
that way,
up, but this is
to
how I
receive
express
that love
love.
language.
And
We
during
start
times
to,
when we're alert
subconsciously
and we're,
and
we're our
consciously,
usual selves,
express
and
our love language.
we're going through the
as well
motions of our purpose,
to others,
our
daily
daily
activities,
activities,
and
and
the
the
many
many
hats
hats
that we wear,
and
that's
we get
important
it
in our
that's one
circle,
thing.
because
But what about the times
it's
when
going
we're
to
not
still let
exactly
everyone know
ourselves?
that even
Like we
during our
talked about last
downtimes,
week,
it's
we may
okay
not
to not
say
be okay.
I love you,
But
physically,
there's ways to
mentally,
say it
emotionally,
in the
or
best way we
whatever.
know how. And
During
trust
those
me when I
times,
tell you,
we
it
may not
makes
even
all the
think
difference
about it,
when your inner circle is
but our
made
love
up of
language is going to
people
be different.
that
So
can express
once
that
we
in
do
the
what
way
we
they
can
can
express
to
it and
kind of
receive
put our
it from
antennas
you
up in the
to
way you can
receive
give
it,
that love language,
whatever that
we
looks
start
like,
to
whatever that may
subconsciously
look like,
and
it's
consciously
necessary. Express our love language,
whatever that may
as
look
well
like, it's vital
to others, even
and
during
don't take
times when we're
anything
not
away from
realizing
it.
it. But
And
keep
that's
receiving
important
and
in
keep
our circle, because
expressing,
it's going to
because
still let everyone
who
know
our
that even
circle
during our
is made of,
downtimes,
they
we
deserve
may not
nothing
say
less,
I
just
love
like we
you,
don't deserve
but
anything
there's
less.
ways to say
And
it
the last
in
thing
the
we're going to
best way
talk
we know
about when it
how.
hits to And
who our circle
trust me
is
when I
made
tell
of,
you, it makes
check
all the difference
on
when your
people.
inner circle
Like we
is
talked
made
about
up
last
of
week,
check
people
on your people
that can express
don't
that
in the way
always
they can express
expect
it
to have
and receive it from
4
you
to
to
5
5
hour
hour
you
or
can
even a
give
4 to
it.
5 minute conversation.
Whatever that
People
looks
are busy,
like,
they're living their own lives.
whatever
But
that
who
may
your
look
circle
like,
is made
it's
of,
necessary.
those people are in your circle for a reason.
Whatever that may look
Okay?
like, it's vital.
And if you truly,
And
truly
don't take
feel
anything away from it.
that,
But
those
keep
people
receiving and keep
are as important
expressing,
as they were the
because
day they got to
who
circle
our
status.
circle is
Okay?
made of, they
The
deserve
day
nothing
that you
less,
decided
just
that
like
they
we
were
don't
part of
deserve
your
anything
nucleus,
less. And the last
you're
thing we're
going
to talk
to
about
make
when it
sure
gets to
that
who
you
our
do
circle
your
is
part
made of,
in making
check
sure
on
we're
your
all
people.
having
Like we
each
talked
other's
about
back.
last week. Check on
Okay?
your people.
Come hell or high water,
Don't
I'm here for you.
always expect to have a
And
4 to
Normalize
5 hour
or even a 4 to 5 minute
making
conversation.
sure that
People
the
are busy,
circle
they're
that
living
you
their own
form,
lives.
the nucleus
But who
that
your
you
circle
rely
is
on,
made of,
those
that
people
they
are
can
in
rely
your
on you
circle
too.
for a reason. Okay?
And
Kind
if you
words,
truly,
support,
truly feel
when
that
they can't be
those
there,
people
letting them know that's
are
okay.
as important as they
Applauding them
were
for
the
taking the
day
time that
they
they
got to
need
circle
to do what they
status.
need to do.
Okay? The
And
day that
saying
you
thank you
decided that they were part of your nucleus,
is important.
you're going to make
Because see, it's
sure
not just
that
about
you do
who
your
your
part
circle is made
in
of,
making
or how
sure
big your circle
we're all
is, or
having
how
each
small
other's
your
back.
circle is.
Okay? Come
It's
hell or
about
high
taking care
water,
of your circle
I'm here for you
in the best way you know how.
and
Meet me here again
normalize
next week for another edition
making
of Positive
sure
Thinking with
that the
Me. And I
circle
want to
that
thank
you
you
form,
for
the
tuning in.
nucleus that
Have
you
a
rely
wonderful
on,
weekend.
that they can
Remember, I
rely
love you,
on
and
you
there's
too.
nothing you can do about it. Pastor
Kind
Felicia's signing
words,
out.
support,